For many, she was just a housewife, not capable to do much.
It's just hard, with Dominic leaving, it's just a bit...
But people with right contacts knew that she was the most feared mafia boss. And on that day, she made hearts of critics submit before her brutality. Welcome back to Paramount Recapped. I don't have many subscribers, but your single comment is a ray of hope to motivate me. Kristen's life was basically crumbling to pieces. She's hit that point where her son's heading off to college, and for her, it feels like her whole world's ending. Now, looking at her husband Paul, you'd think that's her overgrown kid too. But nope, that's her actual husband. Paul's this wannabe rock star who still thinks he's gonna make it big with his sad little band someday. Kristen, meanwhile, is stuck grinding it out at some marketing firm, trying to push this hair regrowth cream, hoping to sell it to cancer survivors. But the higher-ups in the company, they're like, nah, screw that. Let's just scam rich, insecure dudes instead. So yeah, her day's already trash. She finally gets home, all drained and dead inside. When the phone rings, it's an Italian number. Weird, right? Some lady named Bianca's on the other end, calling Kristen by her old last name, Balbano. Bianca drops the bomb. Kristen's granddad just passed away, and oh, by the way, she's in his will. They need her to hop on a plane to Italy. Before Kristen can even process that, there's a whole circus going on downstairs. Turns out Paul's not just being loud. He's down there cheating on her with their son's guidance counselor. Like, bro, what? And if that wasn't bad enough, when Kristen confronts him, Paul has the nerve to blame it on some condition. Says he just can't stop sleeping around, just not with her. Real classy. Feeling like the biggest idiot on the planet, Kristen heads to her self-defense class, which is more like therapy at this point. She vents to her bestie Jenny about Paul's betrayal and the call from Italy. Kristen's on the fence about ditching everything and going, but Jenny's like, girl, go get yourself a hot Italian man and live your best life. Honestly, convincing didn't take much. Next thing you know, Kristen's on a flight, and when she lands, it's like a movie scene. She immediately bumps into this gorgeous guy named Lorenzo, plus his grandma Esmeralda. Kristen's practically drooling. Chill out, girl. She gives Lorenzo her number like a giddy teenager before he bounces. Then two serious-looking dudes, Aldo and Dante, show up to pick her up. They drive her straight to her grandfather's funeral. At the church, Kristen finally meets Bianca and this grumpy dude named Fabrizio, who looks like he's got a personal vendetta against her just for showing up. After the funeral, they're carrying the coffin through the streets, super old-school Italian style, when out of nowhere, bullets start flying. It's a full-on ambush. Rival mobsters, the Romano family, crash the procession. Coffin gets shredded, people dive for cover. It's absolute chaos. Kristen's losing her mind, but somehow keeps up with the family as they make a wild run for it, dodging bikers and gunmen. They finally get back to the Balbano mansion, and Kristen's like, okay, seriously, what the hell is going on? Bianca spills the tea. Grandpa wasn't just a winemaker. He was basically a mafia boss. The Romanos straight up murdered him during some mob meeting. As if that wasn't enough to make her puke, Bianca pulls out a video message from Grandpa. In it, he tells Kristen not only were the Romanos responsible for her dad's death, but also that he wants Kristen to take over the family business. She's supposed to be the new boss. Kristen's ready to book the first flight home, but the family's not having it. Lorenzo calls her just in time, but Dante's like, nope, and smashes her phone into pieces. Kristen flips, tries to pack up and leave, but Bianca reminds her she's got no idea where she even is, no phone, and now she's officially a mob target. Bianca tries to cheer her up with some wine-stomping fun and convinces her to at least represent the family at an upcoming peace meeting with Don Carlo, head of the Romanos. Kristen's like, nah, until Bianca bribes her with a new phone so she can hit up Lorenzo later. Then suddenly it's like, fine, whatever, I'm in. Kristen gets all dolled up, turning full cougar mode on, and even Fabrizio gives her a sneaky look. They all head to Don Carlo's place, with Aldo and Dante as her muscle. Carlo's annoyed at first to see an American chick instead of some scary mob boss, but then he warms up to Kristen real quick. He starts flirting hard, throwing compliments around like confetti. They sit down to talk about territory deals, but Kristen's honestly half-focused, half daydreaming about possibly hooking up with the first hot Italian she meets. Carlo invites her back to his hotel to talk, yeah right, and they get frisked by their guards for weapons before heading in. Kristen's ready to jump his bones, but her middle-aged bladder demands a bathroom break first. While she's gone, creepy Carlo pulls out a little vial he hid, somewhere very unpleasant and poisons one of the wine glasses. Sketchy much? Kristen comes back, and he offers her the poisoned drink. But plot twist, Kristen had already swapped the glasses when he wasn't looking. They clink glasses and take a sip. Everything's fine, until Carlos suddenly starts choking and keels over. Before dying, he blurts out that his uncle was the one who killed her dad. Kristen panics, barfs all over his corpse, and calls Ginny back in the States like, "Bro, you won't believe what just happened." Meanwhile, Aldo and Dante storm in after hearing the commotion and clean up the mess. Turns out Kristen officially killed the mob boss. Bianca's like, "Congrats, girl, you're in deep now." They chop off Carlos' hand, as one does, and send it back to the Romanos as a love letter. Carlos' cousin Mammon couldn't care less. He just declares himself the new boss and sends his psycho hitman Bruno to go after Kristen. Meanwhile, Fabrizio's losing patience with Kristen acting like this is all some big mistake she can just walk away from. The Romanos want even more turf now, and Fabrizio's raging because giving up land means less cash. He shows Kristen all the shady businesses the Balbanos run, and Kristen's like, "Why don't y'all run some legal stuff?" Fabrizio storms off before she can finish her TED Talk. Feeling stir-crazy, Kristen sneaks off to see Lorenzo, dragging Aldo and Dante along as bodyguards. She shows up at his place, and guess what? He's not just a pretty face, the guy's got his own pasta brand. They eat together, and for the first time since landing in Italy, Kristen finally chills out a little. While Kristen was having a chill dinner with Lorenzo, poor Aldo was back at the house getting violently force-fed pasta by Esmeralda. The dude was begging her to stop, like seriously about to lose it, and it kind of looked like he was considering pulling a gun on the old lady just to survive dinner. Meanwhile, Kristen and Lorenzo were chatting away when she casually dropped the bomb that she had a son. Lorenzo nearly choked on his spaghetti. He's only 33 and was clearly not ready for the whole stepdad starter pack. They tried sneaking in some alone time, but Kristen remembered she had a work Zoom call coming up, so she bailed with her bodyguards to head home. Back at the mansion, Aldo got a phone call. His mom wasn't doing so hot. Kristen, being all responsible now, told him and Dante to go check on her. She started setting up for her meeting, totally unaware that Bruno had already slipped inside and was lurking with a gun pointed right at her. Kristen logged onto her Zoom meeting, pitching her heart out about hair cream or whatever, but the board wasn't impressed. They muted her without a second thought, completely missing the fact that she was literally fighting for her life off-screen. Instead of just shooting her and calling it a day, creepy Bruno decided to get gross. He grabbed Kristen and dragged her onto the couch, mumbling something about how she was way hotter than her grandpa. EW. He started fiddling with his belt, planning to do something awful, but Kristen wasn't about to let that happen. She whipped out some Detroit urban survival moves, clocked him with her high heels, and then finished the job by jamming a weapon right into his eye. Kristen, still shaken, stumbled back in her Zoom call, and when her bosses finally unmuted her and saw her looking like she just got hit by a truck, they immediately assumed she was drunk and fired her right there on the spot. Corporate America, am I right? Done with the day from hell, Kristen left Bruno's body to marinate on the carpet and ran over to Lorenzo's place. There, she finally let loose and got, properly acquainted with him. Morning came, and Kristen was just starting to enjoy herself when Dante and Aldo tracked her down to drag her back. Bianca was waiting with more bad news. Kristen had another sit-down with the Romanos. At the meeting, Mammon and his guys showed up looking like they were ready for war. Surprisingly, though, they actually respected Kristen for offing both their Don and their top hitman. Props were given, hands were shaken, and a shaky peace was agreed upon. Later, Kristen was out enjoying the sun when Fabrizio showed up, acting all sweet in a weirdly creepy way. He handed her a family ring, officially welcoming her into the mob life. Not long after, Bianca also rolled up, giving Kristen a pep talk about how she could totally be a good mafia boss. Kristen actually started thinking maybe she could turn this crime family into something decent. From that moment, Kristen got to work flipping the script. She started selling medicine cheap instead of price gouging, and she made serious moves to grow the family's wine business. And all the while, things with Lorenzo kept heating up. Fast forward a few months, Kristen and Lorenzo were strolling along the beach, looking like a rom-com poster. Kristen snapped a cute pic and posted it, big mistake. Immediately, her son called her like, who's the dude? Kristen panicked and lied, saying Lorenzo was just a friend. Lorenzo heard that and looked like she stabbed him with a breadstick. Right when things were getting awkward, Dante and Aldo tackled some guy trying to rush them. Turns out, it was Paul. Yes, that Paul. who somehow scraped together enough cash to fly all the way to Italy to find her. Lorenzo was stunned. Kristen? Married? She didn't exactly handle it well either. She told her cousins to drag Paul back to her place. There, the boys tied Paul up and gave him a few slaps for disrespecting the new Dawn. Kristen demanded answers, and Paul, being the worthless slime ball he was, confessed he was broke and wanted to mooch off her again. Kristen wasn't having it. She ordered the boys to pack him back to the airport and send him home, no return ticket. Later, Kristen sat down with Bianca and admitted she was tired of the mob life. She wanted a shot at a normal life with Lorenzo. Bianca understood, but told her she needed to be careful. Kristen agreed to one last meeting with the Romanos to tie up loose ends. She and Fabrizio went together, expecting a normal business talk. Wrong. The Romanos were ticked about Kristen's pharmaceutical company, mainly because she had inspectors in her pocket and was making big money. They demanded a cut of her profits. Instead of fighting, Kristen dropped a bomb. She was stepping down, and Bianca would be taking over. The Romanos didn't buy it and immediately got aggressive. Right when it looked like all-out war was about to kick off, the doors burst open. Lorenzo and Esmeralda stormed in with a whole squad of cops. Turns out, they'd been undercover this entire time. Total betrayal. Gunfire erupted. Morella, some crazy lady with twin Uzis, went nuts, gunning for Aldo, probably still salty about the pasta thing. Kristen was crushed by Lorenzo's betrayal and tried storming off, but Lorenzo slapped the cuffs on her and hauled her out like a criminal. Kristen faced trial, but her old pal Jenny flew out to represent her. Everyone testified about how Kristen had been helping people, running the wine business, and cleaning up the family's act. After a messy court battle, Kristen was found not guilty and walked out free. Lorenzo confessed that he still loved her, but Kristen wasn't about to forgive that easily. She told him flat out she had been following her kitty instincts instead of her heart, and left him standing there like a kicked puppy. Back home, things were about to get worse. Kristen found Dante bleeding out at the mansion. Panicked, she grabbed a gun from Aldo and rushed to help. Inside, she found Fabrizio holding Paul and her son at gunpoint. Turns out, Fabrizio was jealous all along and had tried to take over the family. He confessed to killing Bianca, or so he thought. Fabrizio aimed at Kristen's son, but Kristen didn't freeze. She charged him, full mom rage mode, and nailed him where it hurts most. Surprise, Bianca stumbled in, still alive but injured. Fabrizio managed to grab his gun and fired off a few shots before fleeing. Kristen chased him down, caught him off guard with a blast of hot steam, and when he lunged at her, he ended up falling straight into an industrial grinder. Absolutely rattled but alive, Kristen made her way back to the mansion. She stood before everyone and announced she was staying in Italy for good and running the family properly. Meanwhile, Mammon and his boys were chilling when they received a little gift, a wine bottle with Fabrizio's severed finger inside and a warning, stay away. As her son and Paul left for the airport, her boy asked if she was really in the mafia now. Kristen just smiled and said, "Nah, I'm just running a wine business." Outside, though, the new respect she earned was obvious. People came up to her, bowing their heads, kissing her hand, mafia style. Still, Kristen had her priorities straight. Before anything else, she made sure to pack some trail mix for her son's flight back home. Because hey, even mafia moms gotta be moms first. If you liked the video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more.